We are live.
Hello. Hey guys.
Jess, you're being trolled, Greg, already.
Why? I was on time. I was here. I was ready. I had finished the book like over a week ago. Come on, guys.
I definitely
My
didn't
fault.
finish the book at like 3 in the morning.
To be fair, everyone, Greg is here before me.
Yes, that is true. I knew Anitha was hosting, so I had to be here and ready to go, or else face the wrath of the librarian.
hmm I have a reputation to uphold of coming in the very last second. So I'm
You
on
know,
board.
we are doing this all ulta. No welcome to everyone, no introduction to everyone. Okay, hi everyone. You know both of these guys, but I'll let them introduce you. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm Gregory. I read books sometimes, and sometimes I pretend to read books, and yes, and I have a channel.
I'm Kate, the almost book doctor, and I like to read fantasy books, and I also have a channel.
I linked both of the channels in the description. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go and subscribe. And I'm sure everyone is subscribed to you. Okay, Angela isn't joining us because she unfortunately she hasn't finished the book yet.
Ah.
Last 150 pages left.
Oh yeah, and you can't really talk about this book unless you finish it, or at least in the
Hey,
spoiler part.
okay, so what do we think about the book? Eniko.
Should I go first?
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. The wolves are gonna come for me. So this is like everyone's, or it seems to be like the fan favorite in the series, and I did not love it. I think it was solid. Um, but yeah, I actually like the first one more. I felt like the plot in this book, it was kind of clear where it was going. Regal is like the worst, and it was like obvious that he's the villain, obviously. But yeah, like we were kind of at a standstill for a while, it felt like to me, and I wanted more proactiveness, I guess, from maybe Fitz or maybe Verity or I don't know, something. It just felt off, I think, for that reason. And yeah, also Molly was kind of annoying. But
Okay, I don't like Molly either. I'm joining Greg on the Molly hate train right now. Um, but I like Greg. Royal Assassin is my favorite of the series, and I've said it before. But for people who aren't on like Greg's Discord and been talking with us, I read the series back when I was like a freshman in high school, so like really really young, and I haven't read it since then. And I still hated Regal, but I did not feel the need to throw my book across the room. So I think my like teenage angst fueled that rage when I was younger, but he's still a total jerk face. But I agree. I did not love the love story, but we'll probably get to that later.
Greg, what did you rate? Also, chat, what did you rate this book?
Oh, that's true. That's true. I
maybe,
give 5 stars. I haven't written my review yet though.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like between 3.5 to 4 stars. It's
Okay. Even I haven't rated it yet. I'm still thinking it is not 5 stars as direct as Assassin's Apprentice. I loved Assassin's Apprentice. I loved the world. But this one, I have to think. I have small issues.
yeah.
There is repetition. I understand this is book 2, so whenever there is a character, whenever Robin Hobb is talking about the old character first time in this book, she gave little explanation to the background of that character, that I'm okay with. But there are a couple of instances where she repeated what happened few pages back, that I have big problem with. I tapped it. I'll tell you exactly. One actually, the discussion conversation between Fitz and Molly, after everything happened, just a few pages after, Fitz again, I did this. He goes through that in his mind. I didn't like that it happened couple of times like that. I have small issues are there. I'm kind of okay with pacing. I'm okay with slow pacing. I don't have any issues with that. Um, I think that's it. But also I'm little pissed off with Fizz actually. Oh my god, it's obvious that Coterie members are like Regal side. How long did it take you to realize that?
To be fair, Fitz has a lot on his mind, including his near obsession with Molly for like a lot of the book, to be honest. And he's a teenager. I think a lot of people forget that he's like 16 in this book. And so even though there's all this like big stuff going around him and we're like, why aren't you paying attention to all this like important political intrigue things? He's also a 16-year-old boy and he has a crush on a girl. So that kind of takes a lot of space up in his mind, I feel like. And he's also trying to, make sure that he's living up to patient standards and dealing with his relationship with Burrick and Verity and the Fool. I loved this book so much because of what we learned about the Fool. The Fool is my favorite character in the series. And I just love figuring out all the little things about him. And I totally forgot like everything that happened with the Fool from my previous read until now. So it's just so much fun.
Okay, adding to your points about Molly, I don't think she's bad. I mean, what she did kind of made sense to me. She took control of her life. That is see, because if she had stayed back, she would have been killed by actually Regal. She did a good decision. Taking control of her life back, making herself be priority of her, that is really amazing. I really like that part.
And
Yeah.
not like I don't dislike Molly because of that. I think my dislike of Molly is her and Fitz's interactions most of the time. They just drove me crazy.
Yes, Albatross, even I think he's suddenly, I mean, once we start in this book, it kind of made sense, but from last book to this book, that sudden jump is out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Sorry, Greg, continue. You were saying something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do like how Molly shows agency for like her life and stuff, but yeah, it's mostly the interactions that I don't know, seem to be like very awkward between Fitz and Molly, like Kate was saying. Yeah. I'm basically on the same page as you two. So like Molly, like I could see Molly being good in like a different story almost, but just like the part of Molly's life that we saw was like uninteresting to me and repetitive.
Yeah, her backstory and everything that happened in like Assassin's Apprentice that turned her into this girl who's able to take agency in her own life, like taking care of her father and running a business and all that sorts of stuff. I like that story. I want to know more about that and like her life as she's taking control of it. I just don't find her and Fitz entertaining, I guess.
I agree, Nico. His thought process is different to what I think. I observe different things, so I agree. And to add to, I mean Jennifer's. I hope that is right. First point, I agree. Actually, it kind of uh, uh, positive thing to this series that Fizz is more normal.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like Fitz is the epitome of an unreliable narrator. So you see everything because it's in like first person. So
Yeah, I don't know how much to trust Fitz yet. I feel like
Fast and
he's
Furious.
kind of getting a lot of the plot points down. I don't know, but yeah.
This is Fast and the Furious 2, but keep drift.
Okay, now coming to favorite characters.
Maybe Ketrigan, the fool, as well, like Albatross says. Yeah, probably those two. Verity, I feel like could solve problems, and like him not doing things frustrated me. Like just like assassinate Regal. It's very simple. Like boom, problem solved.
But
I
he's trying to like be honorable and not live up to his brother's memory and stuff.
look,
You
there are
know,
very tall towers in the castle, and who's to say that a gust of wind that's very strong doesn't come and push him off the tower?
Push him off the Queen's Garden or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Top of the tower. Just
exactly.
like,
I kind of understand why Verity did not kill Regal. I'm okay with that, but it frustrated me that Regal holds power more than others. I mean, all others combined, even then, Regal holds more power.
it's so frustrating. I remember when I was rereading this time, I was remembering how I felt the first time I read Royal Assassin. And I was just so frustrated with the amount of control that Regal had. And I just remember thinking, this is so unfair. Why does he get to get away with all this stuff? And it's just so frustrating because you don't see him like get any punishment and stuff. You're just like, you're such a little dick. I agree with Nico on this one. The passages at the beginning of the chapters, I think that's really helpful. I like the book ending, and I like how she does it in this book compared to like books like The Name of the Wind and things, where you really just have like bookends at either side of the book, but not throughout the middle. Because I think that this saves Robin Hobb some like exposition in the story because she gets to give you those little things. It's kind of like in Stormlight Archive when Brandon Sanderson has like the epitaphs and stuff at the beginning of the chapters.
My favorite characters are obviously Ketrigan, and I like Burich a lot in this. The things he had to do, I mean, at the end especially, he hated witch so much, but he used that to save Fidge. This kind of sacrifice he had to make to save Fidge, that really a good development in his character.
Yeah, I hate Beric in the first book pretty much. But I find that he really redeems himself, especially at the end of this book. Like he gives me all the feels by the end. I still don't think he's turned into like a favorite character for me. I agree with Jess that the Fool is probably up there, but I do love Verity. I like Verity and Fitz's relationship, and I love Patience. Patience is my woman. She's so eccentric and she's fun, and I love how much she cares about Fitz. Like you can see it every time. She just loves him so much because he's the last bit of chivalry and because she's always wanted a child and she sees him as her child and all of this. Just, oh, I love her.
We get little depth of their relationship in this book. I like that part, but I wish we had got more of Patience in this one. We get very little. Also, I agree, Niru. Regal actions doesn't have any consequences. That bothered me a lot.
Oh, what do they call it? Like it's his affluence that keeps him. What they call it, affluenza or whatever. Like if you get in trouble, but you're affluent enough, you don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I think at the end, even Fitz was saying those dukes don't take Regal seriously. They see him as a spoiled prince. That's why I think nobody takes his action seriously. Nobody considers him a serious threat. I think that's why he get away with a lot of things.
Do you guys ever have like an image of them in your head that comes from some other type of media? Because every single time I think of Royal, I think of Lord Farquaad from Shrek and his like poofy outfits and his like opinion that he's the best in the entire world, even though he's just like this farcical character. That's what makes me think of
For Regal, yeah, I can see that.
Lord Farquaad.
Jennifer, yes, at the end, I had wished actually Patience got to know that Fizz was alive. Oh my god, we are talking spoilers.
Oh, I have a thing for this. I was thinking about it because I just read this. I just finished it last night. I'm sorry. Very excited. Caffeine. She so they bring Patience his body, and she's like taking care of his wounds, and it just seems like she's taking care of him to keep his body intact and as healthy as it can be. And so I think she does kind of know.
I am not sure. I did got doubt if Burridge had told her something, but I am not sure.
Patience seems to find things out, but yeah, I don't know if she knows or what she knows.
Nico, I understand actually. This is how I felt when you are discussing LPQ.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
Sorry,
I think we have busted the spoiler sound barrier here, so I guess
we have
Yes,
started
for
talking
this book
spoilers
at
from the
least.
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 books we can chat for LPQ or here for
Here, I think this
oh
one, Realm of Elderlings.
yeah, Stacey,
Anyway,
it's hard to
uh,
know what she knows.
coming to Fool, his background, that his native place, that story is very intriguing. I want to read more about that, and I kind of felt sad for him in this book. I mean, he left everything and he came to this world or country or kingdom, Six Duchess Kingdom, to oh, find his destiny, and he got attached to the king, and losing him, I kind of felt sad for him.
Yeah, yeah. In the first book, for some reason, I forgot that Regal had a different mother, and then that's like why he's so different than Verity and Chivalry, just from like the upbringing and stuff. Um, but yeah, and it's interesting to see the divide between the inner duchies and the coastal duchies more. Like we saw that some in the last book, but yeah, we're getting more and more of that.
uh, in first book I liked Shade a lot, but I think in this one, we did not get much of him. Also, there is some kind of not exactly miscommunication, but it kind of bothered me that Shade is not involved in what is going on in the, what is that, palace,
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
keep. I mean, I understand he's busy making those potions for King, but that's all he was doing, right? Why wasn't he calling Fizz? Why wasn't he getting involved? It bothered me a lot.
Yeah, Shade frustrated me more in this book too. And the thing I liked about Shade was um, whatever Regal not knowing that Shade exists, and that was funny. But beyond that, um, yeah, I felt like he should have gotten involved more and like been more um, like him and Verity. I feel like could have done more to try to like consolidate their power or prevent Regal from consolidating all the power. And yeah, I just felt like they weren't proactive.
I feel like with Shade, it's almost kind of like, the aging Hollywood starlet not being useful in films anymore. He is starting to lose a little bit of his usefulness because he's getting older. And especially as Shrewd keeps getting sicker and sicker, and we have Fitz, who's been trained to be his replacement, essentially. And so he's younger, he's more nimble, he can get places, he has more access in the castle because people know that he exist, so they're not going to like question his appearance and stuff. And so I think there's a little bit of Shade having to deal with that, like stepping back and stuff, because he even mentions it at the end of Assassin's Apprentice too.
Jennifer, I think you're right. He's not someone who take actions. He keeps even telling Fitz that we have to follow, not take or action, or we shouldn't start something. I think that's why he isn't doing anything. Without Shrewd, I don't think he knows what to do.
I
Yeah.
agree. He's been bound to Shrewd for so long, and that's been like his only purpose and pretty much like the reason why he's still alive. And
Yeah.
so he doesn't have that leadership telling him what to do. Like his whole existence is based around being a king's man and doing exactly what True tells him. He doesn't have ideas of his own really because he
Yeah.
hasn't had the opportunity to do anything with them.
Okay, now one topic we all want to talk about, Regal.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of surprised me that there is no bond between Verity and Regal, none at all. Uh, I mean, they don't even talk anything, even not even running the kingdom.
I don't have any siblings, so I don't like know what it's like between siblings. But yes, Nico, I agree with you on that. I feel like Rico is so much younger than Verity and Chivalry were. And so not only is there like that gap between mothers because, the older boys, like they lost their mother. Um, there's the age gap, and then there's the way they were raised because Regal's mom is a piece of work. And he's just become this completely different type of person that I don't even think Shrewd really likes Regal. Because, like you say, a lot of people think he's pompous and like a joke, and people don't take him seriously. And what would Regal and Verity have to talk about, even? Like, what would they have to bond over? Their dad? The red ships? Like, they don't have anything in common at all. And I feel like Verity has all this weight on him. He's busy doing all these things to save the kingdom, whereas Regal's off. Was he doing courting a girl and like buying clothes? So they have that huge like disconnect.
Before we got to know his strategy of moving to inland, I was like, I was so frustrated with him. I was like, okay, let him be king in waiting. He likes the idea of power, but he does not like the responsibility comes with along with it. So let him be king, then he'll realize, then he'll say he doesn't want it. That's what my thought was. But when I got to know his strategy, I was like, what kind of stupid strategy is that? He was willing to let go of 4 touches just for him to be safe and be partying.
Yeah. I agree with what you said, Jess, that he feels like a terrible politician who gets away with stuff. Um, and he does like throw away the coastal duchies, and I feel like you can see a lot of parallels between like the political climate now and the way people react to things and in like the six duchies. I just the thing that struck me was when there's that argument like, oh, inland duchies don't want to have to pay for warships. They don't want to have to pay to defend the coast because it's not their land, because it's not their things. They don't really benefit from it. Well, they kind of do. They kind of seem to forget that they benefit from having port towns. And then the coastal duchies are like, why aren't you going to help us? You have all these resources to help us. Like, why are you being so selfish? And there's this, it just reminds me of a lot of conversations that people are having now.
It not just with politics, it also happens in companies. I had personal experience with it. I was working for Motorola long back in India. Motorola started getting losses. Motorola has a different division where it had all other radio separate division is there. They want to get separated from mobile branch of Motorola because of losses Motorola phones are getting. Their salaries, they are not getting uh, you know paid more, something like that. So these people were like, when Motorola's phones were doing, when that was number one phone in US, they got huge bonuses. Then they were ready to take, but they weren't ready to take losses. So there was huge discussion was there, and finally the branches got divided.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Anyway, my rant
Yeah.
was done. Continue.
When it comes to like feudal duchies or kingdoms or whatever in any book, you have to run like if you're a feudal lord, you have to run it like a business basically, in terms of like where you get money, where you're spending money, and um, yeah, and things like defending your allies. That is something that costs a lot, um, and you do benefit from defending your allies because you have free trade and stuff, and um, like maybe like a more shrewd business person knows that and understands that. But like if you get someone in a feudal system who's more selfish and less like business savvy, I guess, that's where it's like, well, why should we help you? We don't need you. Like, why should we spend our money? And it's like greed. Um, it's all of that that can be found in businesses as well. And yeah,
That's kind of short sighted, also.
yeah, definitely.
I agree. To go back to what Nero said about the adults in the Farseer family not making any plans to keep Regal in check, I think that just goes back to how everybody underestimates Regal and doesn't see him as any sort of real threat. I don't think Regal's really that smart, but I think he gets away with so much because people are turning such a big blind eye to him. Like he's so underestimated that even though he's not this like maniacal genius with all this cunning intellect, he's still able to pull off these plots.
Uh, a question to you, also to chat. Do you guys think Galen, with his skill influenced, planted the seed in Regal?
Maybe. I feel
Maybe.
like Regal is definitely getting influenced somehow. I'm not sure if it's Galen doing the skill or if it's just the inner duchies and like Regal's loyalty and devotion to them, and them kind of just being like, yeah, Regal, like it would be cool if you got power, and yeah, there's and a similar thing happened with Fitz actually, where one of the coastal duchies was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you got power? Like that definitely happened with Regal,
Mhm.
and but Regal gave into it more probably, and we aren't really seeing that side, but that's definitely happening.
You
I,
know, I go
sorry.
ahead, Kate. It's okay. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think Regal also feels more connected to the inland duchies, even more so than he does in Buckkeep to the palace, because he like sees himself as like better than the other people around him, and so he's like very connected to the place where his mom is from. And there was that whole thing about how when she married Shrewd, she was like, oh, well, I could have been like queen of my own duchy and we could have like branched off of the six duchies and been our own, powerful state. And so I think Regal just sees himself as elevated above everybody else and doesn't really care about them. When it comes to Galen, I don't necessarily think Galen was like controlling him at all, but I think Galen might have been like a snake whispering in his ear because they're related. Like Galen's his actual brother, just in the same way that like Verity and Chivalry were half siblings, but um Galen was more on Regal's side than the other two. And so like conspiracies between them.
What I thought was Galen has more hatred, to hate entire Farseer family and the kingdom, because he doesn't have any blood relationship with them. He's only son of Shrewd's wife. I mean, Queen Desire. So, uh, but Regal has blood relationship with Shrewd and Chivalry and Verity. So I think at least initially he should have maybe be influenced by Galen. But after Galen's death, maybe he kind of embraced and accepted their what do you that influenced by inland duchess dukes. That pure hatred where no bond or no connection, with his father or brother, it kind of feel weird to me. At least I think in the beginning, I think Galen influenced Regal.
Yeah, Galen is like the definition of why nepotism is bad. Because the only reason he has his position of power is because his mother was like, look at my son. You know, you should give him a job. And then he got this uber important job that should not have been with someone like him who was not like emotionally prepared and emotionally mature enough to use the skill. Because I feel like that is part of Galen's problem because he doesn't understand really what it's for, like what the purpose of it is supposed to be and what the idea of a coterie is. Um,
And to add to Neeru's and Stacy's points here, initially I thought Regal isn't cunning because cunning means being smart, being able to come up with good strategies. So I thought Regal wasn't that smart. But by the end of the book too, I had this feeling that maybe there is something with him. We'll I think we'll find out that more in Assassin's Quest.
yeah, Stacey, I'm not. I feel very torn, especially because I don't remember what happens in Assassin's Quest. Like I'm torn between the idea that Regal's just like a pompous airhead and if he's hiding something that we don't know. I kind of want it to be the second one because then I feel like at least the fact that he's getting away with stuff would be a bit justified. And if he's just an airhead, then it's just even more frustrating in the end.
Also, what did you guys think about these coastal duchess uh, rebellion planning or something similar along the lines?
Um,
Greg.
sure. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like it was naturally going to happen um, because Regal was consolidating power with the inland duchies and the coastal duchies. Um, you know, obviously they would be together, and there was already the issue of funding to fend off the Red Sea Raiders or whatever. Um, and yeah, so it was just like a natural thing to happen. And obviously, with Shrewd being on his deathbed, there's a massive power vacuum. So yeah.
Power vacuum, buzzword. Yes, good term. Um, the Red Ship Raiders and like the coastal duchies, the whole beginning of the book is just so tragic when you see what like the cities have been having to do to not to survive, but so that they don't survive when they're being taken. And then like when Fitz skills into Shrewd as well and sees all that kind of stuff. It's just so tragic. The idea of parents having to kill their own children to keep them from becoming these like soulless monsters. And the white ship, I have theories about the white ship.
For me, after Regal left that, what is that Northern Kingdom name? He left that for riders, right? After that, even he did not send help to Ripon. So, for his coronation or for his king in waiting ceremony, I wasn't expecting them to come. It was kind of surprising for me that they came. Also, I like that they came to Fitz's defense in the when he was arrested, but I was kind of surprised they accepted Fitz's death so easily. Of course, I understand we did not get any details in that. We got only one page in epilogue, but I understand the logic behind that. That Real was able to prove Fitz's wit. Even then, I felt they accepted very easily because the way they talk in that cell, they were that guy, that Duke Brawny was very keen on that proving Fitz as the killer of Strood. I'm not sure if we get any more details in Assassin's Quest. I mean, I don't know, but I kind of left unsatisfied at the end.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first time people just accept the fact that he's dead because
Yes.
he's so disposable. And I think as this book continues on, you see that he is maybe not as disposable as he feels like he is, because it's revealed that people do care about him, and they just haven't told him before. Like, uh, at the end when before Shrew dies, and he like calls him son of my son, and like said that I've always loved you, it gets me. And
Yeah.
I think that that was really important for Fitz to hear. Like, it's important sometimes for people to tell you that they love you and that they care about you, because actions don't always show that. So I don't know. I thought that was a really important moment in the story, and also like Burke at the end was.
I think that's also the reason Fizz was like bent on vengeance with Shoot's knife.
I hate Serene.
Oh my god. Entire coterie.
I really, really don't like her.
A last book in Assassin's Apprentice, Shade warned Fitz like every time he talked about Regal or every time anything he suggested, it's like it's treason, you can't talk like that. But that kind of build up in this one, there is so much treason, but nobody cared.
Yeah, I agree. And spying and things. Like every time, I don't know, did any of you like figure out like the young girl was his spy?
Ever
Like
for to ask.
during the book before they revealed it, because every time it's like, stop talking in front of her. You don't stop. You just want to like strangle him.
I
Stop it.
should have known, but I'm a dangus and didn't realize.
It's because
You
you're
know,
not the oracle
Yeah, I guess
or
not.
the librarian.
I got my first out when when they were when Fitz tried skilling with Shrewd for the first time to find out Verity is dead or alive. Regal and guards came, right. Then the scene was like Rosemary was behind guards. She was seeing with wide eyes, but suddenly she pushed guards and came and stand beside Ketrican. Fitz said something like, "I don't know how she came between guards," something like that. That was when I got my doubt first, but in every scene, Fitz was planning with Ketrican. She was like, Rosemary was sleeping in the corner. I was like, okay, she's the traitor. I was very sure of that.
It's like, you're not gonna mention her in every scene and have it not be.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love Ketrican. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I feel like Robin Hobb's writing style, it makes it easier for her to like sneak things like that in, for me at least, because she always gives like the simple descriptions, like it was a cold winter or whatever. Like she always throws in a few short sentences for the atmosphere. So like she can sneak in sentences like Rosemary was sleeping in the corner that are like definitely suspicious in hindsight, but I'm just dangus and just thought it was like in there.
Probably didn't realize it the first time I read it either. I'm just so sus about everything in books now, after after like reading Fall of Babel and after like Stormlight. So
There are so many traitors in this book. It's easy to miss.
Yeah.
yeah. I also really enjoy that you brought up her writing style. Robin Hobb's writing, like her writing is beautiful, her characterization is beautiful, but part of the reason it's so good is because it's not overly embellished. It's not purpley at all. Like, she can get away with those crisp, clean sentences, but somehow when she does it, she's able to set this perfect scene for you. And I think it's partly because she gives readers like a lot of leeway with their imagination for stuff.
She takes very short sentences to make a point. I like that one. All my favorite dialogues, all my favorite quotes are like that. Even at the end, when Fitz killed Justin, the guy, the guard from Buckkeep, he came, right? If it was like, "I will not draw you blade," only once, and he was like, "I know, lad," and he trapped Fizz. That one sentence is enough to for us to get the bond and what the scene, what happened there.
Hmm.
We don't need many details.
No. I also just thought about the Rosemary thing and how she's always mentioning that when Fitz is in a room and she's like, oh, Rosemary was in the corner. Because we're seeing it from Fitz's point of view. And he's like a teenage boy and he's not necessarily observant of everything. But if you're in a room with like one other person, you're probably going to notice if someone's sleeping in the corner and be like, oh, yeah, this, that person's over there, I guess. So it makes sense if you think about it, which I love that.
Also, I was like, who sleeps every time in the scene? I was like, she's faking it.
I agree. Thoughtful and intentional are good ways to describe it.
Yeah,
Fitz is Fitz. I like that. Fitz is Fitz.
I think it's because of
That's
what is.
true. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's because of his exercise with night eyes.
Hmm.
Night eyes.
Yeah, we totally forgot talking about night eyes.
I'll be patient. I'll be patient.
It's okay. We can start now.
I love Night Eyes. I love him as a stupid little puppy, and I love them together. They're so cute, and I want to go like run around inside of a wolf's head. Like I like the wit a lot. I like it a lot, and I'm always frustrated when people are mean to Fitz about it and call it unnatural and things. I understand that it's a really like important social point in the story, but I just love Night Eyes. And he calls him Changer, which I find interesting because Shade calls him Catalyst. And so it's like even the wolf knows something is afoot or special about Fitz.
Robin Hobb is so good in writing animal companions. She makes them so human. I'll tell you, I tapped that point first time when Night Eyes came, when Fizz was taking Night Eyes home. He set his head on my shoulder and fell asleep, his muzzle snuffling damply against my ear. That is such a baby thing. It felt like Fizz is carrying a human baby. I mean, Robin Hobb makes them so like babies and so very cute things. We can't help but falling in love with them.
Yeah, she does that. And then she does other things like an Assassin's Apprentice. But that's so cute. Oh, Greg is Pack. Oh.
Heart of the pack.
Yes, the chaotic president of the pack.
Oh, maybe I got it wrong. Jess, you might be right. I like read like 3/4 of this book yesterday. So
Actually, both called him Catalyst. Fitz said that even Fool called me Catalyst. That's
yeah,
what. Yeah,
I was wrong. I'm sorry. My brain is like
that's okay. She'd also called
detailed.
him Catalyst.
I just really
Yeah.
like those kind of things. I like when so like the characters are supposed to have names that describe them, like Farseer line, and Fitz chivalry isn't really a descriptive word for Fitz, but Changer and Catalyst are. So
Mm. Yeah, that's true actually. Um, yeah, I also liked Night Eyes. And like when Fitz is in Night Eye's brain, he like thinks about the world like a dog would, in terms of like, oh, he doesn't remember like how many rabbits he killed. He just remembers things like hunting trails and you know like and he just sees the world differently. Like we are pack is like a very dog way, I guess, or wolf way to see the world. And Fitz like reckoning with that is super interesting and fun. And Fitz trying to explain like intimate moments with Molly and how he wants to be alone and just like everything. It's just so funny and like actually seems realistic.
when you mentioned the pack thing, like I think it's so poignant that he gets to be a part of that, and like you are pack. Like he hasn't had that in his life before. Like he has a place where he belongs, and like being a part of a pack is a strong bond. It's important. It means that you are cared for and that you're a part of something. And for most of his life, he's always been on the outskirts and the fringes and kind of a part of things, but never really is a part of anything. And now through Night Eyes, he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, no spoilers, Kate. Without spoilers, what are your theories about White Ship and why only Fitz can see it? Greg.
White chip. Oh, okay. I have no idea. I know it exists. Um, I feel like we'll definitely get more information about boats in the Live Ship Traders trilogy, um, which I don't really know too much about, but I know the boats get powers through generations or something. So maybe the white ships have like powers or something. I have no idea though.
I don't think the white ship is a live ship, because that's like a completely different, like a live ship is made out of different wood, and I think it's something different. I don't know how timeline wise like the live ship traders works in conjunction with the original like Farseer trilogy. But I can't really talk about this because I actually remembered the white chip, so I don't want to spoil it because I actually remember what happens with that. So
I kind of wondered why Fitz did not discuss that with Shade. Why he did not tell anyone. I kind of understand why he did not tell Barich or someone else, but he did not even tell Shade. Or that's how I remember it. Did he tell him?
Not that I
I
remember.
don't
He
think so.
didn't see Jade too much, which was part of the issue, I think.
I think Jade knows about white ships because he traveled in one of the paragraphs in the beginning of the chapters. We get that Jade has traveled to Out Islanders and them talking about white ships and all, but they did not uh, discuss about them. There is some kind of this is not direct miscommunication, but there is some kind of miscommunication between Fizz and Jade here.
Yeah, their relationship is definitely like evolving in this book, because I feel like in Assassin's Apprentice he was very, very, very reliant upon Shade.
Yeah.
And as he's growing up in the palace and as he is like dealing with all of that, he's kind of growing a little bit apart from Shade and also learning like some skills that Shade doesn't have, and like being able to do things that he might not be able to do.
Uh, Guys, that's my sister.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Okay, sorry to
Oh, you're
interrupt.
fine. You're fine. I love when family comes into chats. um, White ships are cool. I remember like part of what happens with the white ship, which is why I don't want to talk about it. But I don't remember what happens with the red ships. And I love how she set the red ships up, and you just like don't have a lot of information about it still. But it's this like evil. It's like the One Ring. You don't really know what the One Ring does or how it does it. It's just evil and causes destruction.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for staying up and come on here. I know it's very late to you.
Oh, is she out in India?
Yeah, she is back right.
What time is it in India?
I think it's past 12.
Oh,
12.
wow.
Yeah.
That's late. But what do you guys think of, since we're like total spoilers for everything, um, what did you think about the end of the book? Like the very end of the book with Fitz?
I have no idea what's going to happen. What what happened? Fitz is alive, um, somehow, and yeah, we'll see.
Oh, I forgot Neeru is in India too. Thank you for staying up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, wow. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. Like he's the wolf now. He's gone. He has no way to get back to his body right now. He's like he's stuck.
Uh, you know, uh, okay, I know you're asking about Fizz, but I'm going to ask, I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to
This
tell
is
you
the subject.
about Molly. My last thought when I ended the book, when I closed the book, my last thought was Fitz wasn't thinking about Molly, he was going after Ketrican. I was like, see, this is why Molly left you. That's justification, actually. It's okay, it's okay, taking your make how do I put it? I think I understand, it's hurtful to Fizz, but what Molly did was um, making her as a priority in her life, and I'm completely okay with it. Also, I think when she said there is another one in her life, I think at least she is lying, or I think she's pregnant. One of those two.
Mm.
I'm pretty by 90% chance that she's pregnant. If I could be wrong, so 10% is that she's lying.
Uh-oh. Dang.
I, I, my theory was that Burrich convinced her to run away because there were like awkward interactions between them towards the end, and I noticed it because Molly like for like the first 3 quarters of the book just didn't talk to Burrich because he was drinking, but then like they were friends or something at the end, and Burrich like had I think a good finger on the pulse of what was going on in the castle, and that Regal was going to use Molly to get to Fitz and like be part of like the torturing. And I feel like Burrich was like, no, like leave.
You
This will
know,
be bad.
no, I don't think Burrich said anything like that. But at the end, Burrich said that Molly came looking for some herb, but Burrich did not have that. But that is, I think, pregnancy related herb. I think that is why Burrich was awkward with Fizz, because it's not his place to tell anything.
Do you think she's trying to like end the pregnancy? That's usually what people are trying to do when they look for certain herbs.
Not the thought did came to my mind, but not. I don't think she's kind of person who will end. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I like what do you guys think of Burrick and Patience?
They are Dangus. That is my thoughts.
Uh, okay, it's kind of sad when I think in Barich's perspective, but I mean, I hope I mean, we don't see any rekindleness or something. I just hope that they be friends for Fizz, sake. But that's all I'll tell.
I feel like it must have been so hard for him to watch Patience marry Chivalry and like be around them and see that when we're like in love. And oh, it's tragic. And I mean, you can understand why Barick is messed up in the way that he's messed up because of his relationship with Chivalry, his relationship with Patience, and like his own issues with the wit. I feel like he kind of hates himself a little bit, and so he drinks.
It's surprising, Niru. Even Kate did not like Barich in the book, in first book. I was, I mean, in first book he was not like my favorite character. At the same time, I did not hate him. I kind of understood him.
I'm with you, Nero. Nero. Sorry. I did not like Berg until the very end of Royal Assassin, and he like yes. I mean, that's kind of what they are exactly. But yeah, he redeemed himself in my eyes. The scene, like when he's holding, it just
When
the
he was holding Fizz and said, "You are not dead, my son. You are not dead." Oh my God, it was so emotional.
it's just like But that whole like, what do you think, Greg?
About
About Burritt
Fitz or Burrich and Patience, yeah. Yeah, I like it. I didn't see it coming at all, but in like hindsight, there were clues. But yeah, I think it's cool, and I feel like this is how Burrich and Molly are related to each other, because yeah, Burrich, as you mentioned, Anitha, there was like the weird interaction where Molly was looking for herbs from Burrich, even though like Patience has any herb that she would need probably. So, and I feel like they can actually relate over liking or like wanting to be with someone who's in line to be king or queen or like some powerful position, but then they're in like a lower status, so it's not meant to be. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna get more from that somehow. Um, but I do think like Patience and Burrich, will it ever be resolved, or will they always be like super awkward when they're in the same room together? I feel like they'll just like always be awkward, and
Will
and
they?
it'll
Will they?
will they, won't they? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty hard won't they, but you never know, I guess.
I think you bring up a really good point about Molly and Burrick relating to each other in that aspect. Like, I really like that. I never thought about it precisely in that way before. Also, the first time I read this, the first time I read Assassin's Apprentice and like the beginning of Assassin or Royal Assassin, I thought I didn't get the Patience vibes. I thought that maybe Burrick had been in love with Chivalry, and that's why he was so loyal to him. Like that was where my brain was. So the first time when I read like that the whole Patience stuff, I was like, oh, that's what that was. Very true. Very astute observation.
Yeah, that's true. But irrespective of that, he loved Fitz from the beginning.
I don't know. Do you really think he loved Fitz from the beginning, or do you think he kind of like felt saddled with him, and then over time, as he saw Fitz growing into a man that reminded him of ways that Chivalry behaved, then he like grew to love him?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure in the beginning his intentions were, raising him as a good jewelry son. But I don't think it took him long to fall in love with, love him as son.
What do you think, Greg?
yeah. It's hard to say because Burrich isn't like one with his emotions or like super upfront with what he's thinking. But yeah, yeah, I feel like at first it was duty and then it became love, I guess.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think he always loved him, because in the beginning, I think that he resented him because that's why Chivalry left. And then Chivalry told him to stay at the castle to take care of it. So it's not even just that Chivalry sent Burrick away. He also sent Burrick away from Patience. And so not only was he not with his master, but he wasn't with the woman that he loved. And he had to go take care of this kid. That's the whole reason why he was being sent away. So I feel like there was some resentment. As to how long it took him to warm up to him, I don't really know. But I mean, obviously, there's no question that he loves him now.
See, okay, in my opinion, that resentment is there because he also had the leg injury. At the same time, he had to limp, and his jewelry went away, and his entire world turned upside down. I'm sure he was angry about that, but I'm not sure he thought about patience going away, at least at that time.
Consciously, no. It could have been something like just one other thing in the list of things. that he was mad at. You know how like something is in the back of your head and you're just like, ugh, this one extra thing is just making me extra mad. Or and on top of all this, there's this one thing. So
I agree, Jennifer. I think in the beginning he just loved Fizz because he was Chivalry's son, but now he formed a bond as his own son.
it's just bad at kids. Bad.
Uh, what do you guys think about Kotari using Shrewd or taking his energy?
I mean, they're jerk faces, and I feel like once Galen died, that whole plot should have kind of fizzled out, and I'm surprised that they were listening to Regal, because I feel like Galen had a more commanding presence than Regal did, and he kind of pulled the strings. It's kind of surprised that they were still up to their tricks, but I hate them. Is that I hate Serene. I'm not usually glad people die in books, but like they needed to go. They needed to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did not expect them to be taking energy from Shrewd or them listening in Verity with Verity's connection. It was kind of surprise to me. But after reading that, it kind of made total sense because even in book one, I kind of mentioned in the live show also when when Galen was trying to kill Verity, King Shrewd did not respond or anything. I was very, I mean, curious about that. I think even then Galen was taking that energy from Shrewd.
Huh. I wonder if you can connect to two people at the same time.
I think with his energy only he got more powerful and trying to drain Verity. I don't think Galen was powerful enough to drain Verity by himself. He tried to did that at the same time. That's when he taught his coterie members to do that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise by themselves they don't know how to do it. I don't think at least.
Mm-hmm.
French Prince. I think Master Sal would be very interested. Yes. Oh my god, I think he'll I think he dies. I hope he dies.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
I was hoping when Will wasn't with Serene and Justin, even at the end when Will came to sell, I was hoping that he wasn't loyal to Regal. He was like, okay, he'll come and he'll tell Fitz that I'm not loyal to them. They are doing treason, something like that. I was hoping for that.
Yeah. Betrayal. What did you think of the torture scene? It was really hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I guess I wasn't expecting her to be so intense in the descriptions and stuff, but I think that's where you get to see like how evil Regal can be. Like that's like the extent of his evilness.
Yeah, he has like no moral compass really. He just, you know, like like the power he's gonna have is gonna corrupt him a ton, and that's what we've seen from the last few chapters. Like he's gonna be a tyrant. That's like really does whatever, and is like very entitled.
Could he be a sociopath?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
He's kind of Trump.
He's Trump, yeah, maybe.
Spoiled, entitled, doesn't have any strategy, doesn't take any responsibility of his power.
Mm.
I bet Regal would wear wigs. Yeah, I agree. He does have that kind of feel, that vibe around him. But I hope he gets away soon. I hate him. I want him to get his just desserts. Yeah, brain.
Okay, your theories about the next book. Kate, no spoilers.
Oh, okay. So it's just my theories, probably.
Yeah, because I remember like the big plot points. So like me saying anything would kind of mess with it.
I mean, you can still talk about it, your theories after reading this from this book, but not from your knowledge of the third book.
Ah, my theory. There be dragons. That's my theory.
Okay.
It's a dragon. That's true.
It's a dinosaur.
And Greg?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, so Assassin's Quest. All right, so we're gonna go on a quest. We're gonna go find Verity, and then Verity is gonna be like injured, close to death, but we're gonna save Verity, and then we are going to find dragons deep within the mountains, and the dragons will come and destroy all the red ship raiders, and then we'll kill the pretender Verity. That is what will happen.
Pretender Verity. What do you mean?
Or well, like that's what like a fake king is called, a pretender.
Regal. You just want a dragon.
Regal, yes. We'll kill Regal.
You want a dragon to like roast Regal like Daenerys does in Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
You know, I'm thinking this is called Assassin's Quest. I think Fizz is the one who is going to find elderlings. I don't.
No, this is like the exciting part. What is an elderling?
Yeah, you said dragons, right? So I'm going to go with that.
I said dragons. Does that mean the dragons are elderlings? There's a dragon on the cover of the book. I mean, that's why I can say that it's dragon.
See, this book, this cover, this Royal Assassin, there is red ship here, and there is Olf and Axe here. That is this totally exactly represents the story. And Assassin's Quest has dragon here, so I'm thinking we will see that.
I love that we all have different copies.
We do.
So here's the shiny dragon on this one.
Oh, nice. Okay, so who's this riding the dragon? Who has red hair? Is it Ketrigan, or I don't even know?
Oh, no. Ketrigan's...
Sorry, go ahead.
Someone riding the dragon, maybe Fitz.
No,
but
it's a woman, it looks like.
Can you use the wit on a dragon?
Maybe the elderlings can.
Because Ketrigan, you know, she can do things. So, and Ketrigan does have red hair. Because that's how they describe the people of the mountains. Like, in my head, they were, like, Irish, I guess. I don't know why, but, like, she's Merida from Brave in my head.
No, Pete posted one illustration of Ketrigan, but in that she has white hair. You have the copy, Kate.
Was it in Royal Assassin?
Yes.
They describe her as having red hair. I swear. Somebody else.
That would be interesting.
Sure in Assassin's Apprentice, I'm pretty sure that they describe her as having. That's not Ketrigan.
For some reason, I remember Molly as having red hair as well.
Maybe it's Molly. I thought they were redheaded though. There. Oh, here. Ooh. So here's a picture with the white ship.
Oh boy, scary.
Oh boy. Okay, blonde hair. They're Norwegian then, and Molly has red hair. There is a picture of Fitz and Molly, but I don't remember which one it's from.
Oh no, the never-ending love story. Make it stop.
The pictures are really good in this book. Like I wish that somebody's got to have put them on the internet somewhere, because this one is. Look at this baby. The little wolf.
I can see.
Oh boy, it is a wolf.
It's Night Eyes in the cage. So Yeah, I'll find some of the pictures and I'll post them on the Discord chat so you guys can see them because they're really cool.
You,
I
uh,
huh?
we can't rely on covers on old copies, especially when it comes to women's attire and hair.
That's true. At least she's not wearing like a Madonna cone boobs or something crazy like that.
Ketrigan is sometimes blonde and sometimes redheaded, according to Google Images.
There you go. Okay, I knew it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, maybe the cover art's off, or maybe it's not Ketrigan. Maybe it's someone. I have no idea. We'll find out, I guess.
Publishers use cover arts for promotions. If they think red hair, people like red hair, they'll use that irrespective of what the content of the book is.
Red skirts. That's where I was connecting red with Molly. She wears red skirts. That's it.
Yes, Molly's hair was dark.
Molly, okay.
Maybe we'll see some new girl. Maybe it will be celebrity.
The exciting thing about Assassin's Quest is that it sets up the world and the mythology and everything for the entire rest of the series, because the entire series is called the Realm of the Elderlings. So whatever knowledge we obtain and get in this book is like our basis for the rest of the novels. And I think that's so exciting. And I love quest stories. So I love a good old quest with an animal companion and everything.
I hope it's a team of members, not just Fizz.
Yeah.
I don't want to read 800 pages of only Fizz.
That would be very, very depressing. And no one would read that. I hope that the fool.
But I wanted to pick Assassin's Quest immediately last night. It took me so much self-control, to stop with Farseer and pick another book.
So are you gonna go start reading it right after this?
No.
No, you're gonna finish the other book first.
Yeah.
Fair.
I already started this one.
Oh yeah, Tchaikovsky. Pizza dough is really good.
Yeah.
Greg, are you going to start Morningstar?
I don't know. I think I have to start Jade Legacy. But Morningstar will be in March.
You're not gonna wait for us to read Jade Legacy?
No. I'll forget by the time we complete.
Yeah. This is the compromise. You're going to read it in the summer, and Anitha read it in December, so I'm reading it in March.
Okay. We still have to have our other live shows for those.
That's true.
I was watching Kate's TBR. I was like, she said, okay, next 4 books I'm going to read. I was like, she will show Jade War or not. Every book, next book will be Jade War. Next book will be Jade War.
I've decided that one day I'm going to take all the books that were in my TBRs that I didn't get to and then put them like on a spinning wheel. And that's how I'm going to do my December TBR. It's going to be like a leftovers month of all the things that I said I was going to read and didn't get to. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
But
Channing Tatum supports my decision, so that's all that matters.
He has to support your decisions.
We are a pack.
Oh my god.
You are heart of the pack.
Yes.
We are a pack. That's cute. I love Real Assassin. This is my favorite of the series, but I'm excited to read Assassin's Quest, and this is a hefty boy.
Boy.
My copy has more than 850 pages.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've got some long books to read this month. Let's see how long Jade Legacy is. Oh, we're under 700 pages, I think. No, never mind. Just over 700.
864 over here. You got the hardcover? That's another reason why I haven't picked up Jade Legacy yet, because I don't want the hardcover copy.
Yeah, I kind of wanted the soft cover just because it would have matched, but whatever.
Well, you don't e-read, so
yeah.
I read it early. I'll just get the e-reader. Did you do a TBR, Greg?
I filmed it.
Okay. Greg, let's do your TBR here live.
No, I already filmed it, thankfully.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, exactly. I think things are going to be exciting. I hope we find out more about the Fool in Assassin's Quest. I hope we find Verity. I hope we find Elderlings. It's gonna be so exciting.
I have a question here. I got doubt when Ketrikan and Fool started for Mountain Kingdom. We have to go to Mountain Kingdom via Tilth and Pharaoh, right? Or at least Pharaoh. How safe is it for them to travel on that road?
It's good.
That's true. Maybe they can go around along the north coast and then take a boat. Obviously, a boat's not too safe with the seas completely uncontrolled by the duchies. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to get there. I guess that's part of the quest, right?
Which is true. This is true. Part of the quest. Yes.
I was so I was hoping that child nothing will happen to Ketrick and Shelley. I was like, no, 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 please. I crossed my fingers the whole time.
Yeah, what would Verity do if something happened to Ketrican? Especially now that they're all like in love and stuff.
Oh my god, that was so sad because I had a good opinion on Verity, but it was so sad that he did not have any bond with Ketrikan. So finally, it made me so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good scene.
I think their relationship is my favorite in the books
Mm.
because Molly and Fitz are meh.
I just hope we get to see more of them. I just hope Verity won't die.
That would super suck because who would take over the six duchies?
Fitz. Take over, Fitz.
Do you think Fitz wants to rule?
No,
No,
but
but
it doesn't matter what he wants.
yeah.
But if he's not, what's the term I'm looking for? Accepted as like a royal heir officially, then what would happen?
Well, he could be steward while they wait for Ketrigan's child to grow up.
He could be like, as you said, he can wit with the dragons and he can be like bosses of all elderlings, boss of all elderlings who control, and he can be like the bridge between humans and elderlings.
Mm-hmm.
Plays an important role.
Yes, that could be possible. That could be possible.
I just hope Patience got to know that Fitz lives. That was one thing I am unsatisfied.
Yeah, I want her to know. I think she deserves to know. Her
Yeah.
heart is gonna be broken if she doesn't. And like I said, I do think she does know, but like, I don't know. The poor lady has enough stuff. And by the way, can we just say like how much I love Lacey, her like lady's maid?
Yeah,
I love her
she's
so
super
much.
cool.
She has so much humor. And she's
She's
just
a
like,
secret assassin too.
hmm?
I want to see her like kill whatever Regal. That would be a great ending.
She'd have some quippy comeback and then like dose him with poison.
Kill him
I'm-
with needles.
Yes.
I'm not hoping we'll see much of Patience in the next book because it's Assassin's Quest. I think we'll see more about Fizz's journey and Jade, Burridge, them traveling to mountain kingdoms. Maybe we'll see Regal, but I'm not hoping to see more of Patience.
Yeah.
Unless they come back with elderlings to Buckkeep.
I don't even know what Patience would do when faced with a dragon. I feel like she's like sciencey, and so she'd want to study them and be super interested in it.
I wonder why she isn't called Lady Eccentric or Lady something. Why is she called Lady Patience?
I don't know. I think eccentric would be a better name too.
Yeah.
Or quixotic. I like that word. Lady quixotic. They probably don't have that word in the Six Duchies. Yeah. Any other opinions of the book? I think we covered most of it actually.
Yeah, we did.
We covered it extensively.
Yep. So,
Any last thoughts, chat?
Are we, after we read Assassin's Quest, are we taking a break or are we going straight into
We are taking a break in April.
Yep.
Liveship in May.
oh.
Yes, yes.
1 month break between each trilogy.
Oh goodness, it's gonna take us forever. That's good. That's good. It gives me time to catch up. Good. But yeah, thank you for having me. I love talking about this book, and I was like torn between being happy that I wasn't as mad when I read this book, and like wishing I still had that like fervor when I read. Like, yeah, we're starting it in May. Wait, you have the next Farseer trilogy, like the Fitz and the Fool, Tawny Man, whichever one's next. I think Tawny Man is next after this, but we're reading Liveship in between because I think that's. Are we reading it in publication order?
Yes.
Yes.
Which, by the way, this book, in case you didn't know, was published in 1996. I was 5 years old, so this book is old.
That's the reason I like the writing a lot. If you remember last live show, I told that it was very nostalgic because in 90s I was reading all these kid stories in my first language. It has the same writing style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yay.
Yay. So when are you guys starting Assassin's Quest?
Probably later in the month, pretty late.
We are all last minute. At
Yes.
least me and Kate. Last night we finished.
Yeah.
Chat, when are you guys starting?
I think I'm gonna probably start. I'm gonna try to read it slowly over the month because I'm starting like one of my really hard units in school tomorrow, and so I'm not gonna like have time to sit and like really read for hours at a time. And so I tend to like use books as study breaks, and so I'll like bring it with me to my study room or the coffee shop, and then I'll study for like so long, and then I'll read a chapter of my book when my brain isn't working anymore. And so that's kind of how I get through things. So I'm probably going to do that with Assassin's Quest, and low and slow, so I don't have to read it all the night before. Yep.
Last week of March. Yes, me too. Also, I think maybe I'll poll this in the Discord because the first Sunday means I think 1st of April. Do you want to do live show then or the next Sunday?
Yeah, we can ask the Discord.
Yeah, let's ask everyone. I think we all need some grace period, like at least 3-4 days in the next month.
Grace period for sure. But yeah, this is a good talk. I'm excited for the next book.
Me too.
Indeed, I'm ready.
After Assassin's Apprentice, I was okay with taking the break, but at this time, my heart is going to Assassin's Creed. I was like, I want to read that. I keep thinking about that.
That's good. That's a signal of good writing and a good story when you just don't want to. I don't remember the last time I like blew through a series. LPQ is the closest because I read like 3 of them in a row, but I haven't like just gone straight through a whole bunch of series in a while. So this will be good. Greg, did you finally get a case for your phone so you don't break it again?
No. We'll get one. I'll order one. I'll do it today.
Boys. Oh. Okay, my dogs are yelling at me. I have to go take them.
Yeah, it's time to go.
But thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining.
You for having us.
And thank you for joining us, everyone, chat. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, chat.